Good morning, folks. Good morning. Welcome to the 2022 Queensland Open Lead Titles. Jason Witten here with you. For the weekend, we have our best competitors in Queensland here at the Open Lead Titles here in Beta Boulevard in Logan, just outside of Brisbane. So welcome, folks. I can see a few people online. Great to have you guys here on the live stream. Once again, a weekend packed full of awesome, amazing climbing for the lead Queensland titles. So give us a shout out in the chat. I know there's the live chat in YouTube and in Facebook. So let us know where you're dialing in from, folks. Great to see a few of you on today and give you a bit of a run of what's going on over the weekend. We've got Saturday and Sunday. We will be going live each day. Qualifiers this morning, and we've already got a few climbers on the wall out there right now, getting their competition underway. Bedoya Massimo right now from the Open B Male, making his way up his qualifying climb. But this morning, between sort of about 9:30 and 12:30, we're going to have the qualifications, Open B, Masters and Para. And we will be having the finals, ladies and gents, this afternoon at 2:30, approximately 2:30 to 3:30, or 2:30 or 3 o'clock we would start. And that would go for about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, depending on the time. The crowd's getting pretty excited here. Plenty of climbing action going on. And that's day one, Saturday the 18th of June, 2022. The Open B and Masters and Para. And tomorrow, ladies and gents, day two, Sunday, 19th of June, 2022, we will be having the same format, which is qualifications for the Open A and some social climbing, which will be an interesting category, which is awesome. Great to see a little bit of the social being weaved into the competitions, but the Open A and the climbing qualifications for the social between 9 and 12 tomorrow. And again, the finals will be in the afternoon between 2:30 and 4:30. So, and there's also podiums and presentations straight after that, folks. So make sure you hang around and support the climbers, which is awesome. But great to see a few of you guys online right now. If you do feel like sharing the love, get the link and share it around of the live stream. We're coming to you live from Beta Boulevard here in Logan, just outside of Brisbane. And this is the 2022 Queensland Open Lead Titles. We've just had a top by the look of it there from one of the competitors, Bedoya Massimo. And looks like he made that look rather easy for his qualifier here today, which is good news. Plenty of people, plenty of action this morning as we go. And we'll try and keep up with them this morning, but it's a bit more casual in the qualifiers, trying to keep an eye on who's climbing where as we go. Looks like we might be lining up next for competitor number 82. Try and keep an eye on all of these qualifiers for Saturday here. Number 82. Cardia Candice, Open B female. Was that, did we see? We've got one of the young male climbers here. We'll find out who that is in a moment. But decent crowd here today. We've got over 80 climbers for the qualifiers, which should be a plenty strong, packed field for today. Some interesting routes been set by the route setters out there today. Was having a bit of a conversation with them last night, and there's a few stings in the tail, a few surprises, but I won't give it away too much for the finals. That will be awesome. But here we go. We do have climber number 82, Cardia Candice, Open B female, off first climber out in the Open B female, and they've got the nice straightforward start, but immediately, a couple of moves off the ground, gets into some interesting territory. For those who are watching at home, maybe this is the first time you've seen. I just realised we have something on here, so let me get rid of that. Candice making her way up there quite nicely, and we've got over on, looks like competitor number 66, Daniel Cox, again making his way reasonably nicely up his qualifier. Let's have a quick talk about how the format is here on the weekend, folks. The format is an on-site format or a flash format. What the route setters do, they record the videos, record a video of each of the routes being climbed for the competitors. It's called forerunning, and if you wanted to find out what that was, if you wanted to see how these routes are meant to be climbed, or one way to successfully climb it, then check out the YouTube channel and you will see the forerunning videos prior to each of the competitors climbing. They get a chance, 15 minutes, to watch those videos, and then they go into isolation, which is out the back. They wait their turn, they wait there patiently until their turn to climb their route. And as you go, your job is to make it from the bottom to the top, folks. Pretty straightforward, that would seem. Daniel here getting a bit of a pump on this one, and he's about to turn the head wall. He's a few moves from the top, but I was just about to say losing some power there as he was coming around the corner. Good job, Daniel. How does it work, folks? What's the scoring? What is the go? Looks like we've got a top here from Candice, and looks like she did that pretty comfortably, actually, on the way up there. So I think she'll be pretty happy with that one. Candice got it top, so happy days for her. How does the scoring work when it comes to the lead climbing? We've been live streaming the lead, boulder and speed climbing for each of the competitions this year, and lead, speed and boulder have their own way of scoring out there in the marketplace.
You notice they've got their little carabiners they're clipping into as they go. This is basically how the sport climbing works. So they clip in as they go. That basically gives them their highest point for their attachment. If they climb past that, obviously they've got twice the fall from the length of the rope to the next adjacent.
Couple of little technical difficulties there, folks, but you're watching the 2022 Queensland Open Lead titles here in Beta Boulevard, outside of Brisbane. Big shout out to Sports Climbing Queensland and our main name sponsor, Pinnacle Sports, for putting on the event. It's great to see so many competitors here today, over 80 I think. Big lineup as we go. We're having a bit of a talk about, and I think that might have been that Michaela. Michaela didn't get it up as high as she would have liked, I'm sure. And we have on this blue climb Travis Anderson. Travis looking pretty comfortable there, making pretty good progress. This is where we saw young Daniel start to get a bit pumped, but Travis turning the lip there onto the head wall pretty comfortably, and other than a disaster, looks like he might make a pretty simple top here, and yep, happy days. Well done. Top for Travis. How do we score it, folks? Like I was saying before, boulder, speed and lead climbing all have their own way of scoring and keeping track of who is in the lead, where the sport now is in the Olympics, which is fantastic. Great to see that. And how do they keep score? Well, the lead climbing is about making it from the bottom to the top, as you might expect. However, as we climb from the bottom to the top, each of the holes is scored in sequence 1 through to 30 or 40 or whatever it might mean. And along the way, you make it to each of those holes, you get a score, an additive score. 1, 2, 3, 4, makes sense. However, there's a few things that you've got to know when it comes to the scoring of the lead climbing. If you make a move from this hold positively towards the next hold, well, you get a plus score, and that's how they kind of split the field. Also, there's a clock, a time, and the climbers are timed on their speed from the bottom to the top. So if a climber or a set of climbers are in a tie, it will go back to how fast did that climber climb to either the top or their highest point. That's the basics of the lead climbing scoring here today, folks. And it's an on-site format, which is one go, best go. You don't get another crack at it. And the climbers do get, like I mentioned before, a chance to look at the climbs prior to them being climbed when it comes to forerunning. So hopefully that makes sense. Looks like we've got Hannah sides here. And over on the Open B men's, we've got Sam Killip. And Sam sporting the yellow rope on both of the qualifiers of the blue climbs. Making pretty comfortable progress so far. Hannah looking very collected and very calm in her approach to the climb here. You can notice, folks, as the climbers do make their way up the wall, making progress, you will see them clip into the quick draws. They are called quick draws or hangers. And that is for, obviously, their safety. They must clip them in sequence. They can't climb any higher or past the clip at about knee level. And if they do, they'll be disqualified from a safety point of view. But they must clip them in sequence as they move towards the top. And Sam here, looking pretty good. We've had a top there by Hannah. Well done, Hannah. Oh, no, not yet. She's got to clip the top anchors. I thought that was a top for her. There she done. Comfortably on the top. As you know, or as you can see, we've had Candice and Hannah top the Open B females, folks. So that will come back to, or that will come down to, a time count back of how fast they climbed them. So we'll see that. We'll update you guys on the scores as we go. But if you do get a chance to share if you do get a chance to share the, big fall. It's exciting times there. No top for Sam. Just got pumped out on the roof there. And you can see the belayers at the bottom with the pink vest. They're all the belayers and volunteers. Their job's to keep the climbers safe, obviously, by making sure that they don't land on the floor at the bottom. And they did a good job of that. Sometimes you will see a climber take a reasonable fall, and that's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with them taking a little bit of a fall there. But you know that they're completely safe.
We're getting the next climbers on the wall. It's non-stop here. So we've got Beck. Beck is up and climbing.
All right, we've got our next Open B female up on the wall, Beck Barnett. And Beck making her way up there. And over on the Open B male, we've got Josh D'Amico. Josh moving pretty quickly, and there's different styles in climbing. Certainly when it comes to lead climbing, folks, you'll see some climbers move quite fast. They like the idea of not hanging around too long, so they can keep some of their fitness for the harder moves above. Often that it's a bit of a strategy from a climber's point of view. If they can move as fast as possible through the easier stuff and save some of their energy and strength for the harder stuff ahead, then that would make sense. We've got Beck here. Bit of a slow and steady wins the race style. Nothing wrong with that. Often the slower styles are a bit more technical and a bit more energy preservation from doing the moves, the climbing moves, a little bit more consistently and precise. Doesn't mean one style is better than another. If you get a chance to watch the World Cups, you will see lots of different climbers climbing in different styles, world-class climbers. And you see right now, this seems to be, turning the lip here seems to be maybe one of the cruxes in the Open B males. And Josh doing fairly fine here. We'll see if he can sort of get himself around this corner. If he can get around and stand up, he'll most likely make the top. Yes, looks like he's going to get a clip there, and it might have been that Beck got a top as well. Let me. Josh making a top there, looking pretty comfortable on that one. So you know, the time will count as well, and it looks like Beck got a top also over there. So a few tops happening, which is great for the climbers and great for the show here today. Big shout out to our sponsor, Pinnacle Sports. We can't do these competitions and support the community without having great sponsors, and Pinnacle Sports is one of those. They've been around since 2003, supporting the Australian climbing community. So big shout out to them, and a big shout out to Sports Climbing Queensland. You guys are awesome. And thanks for, it's a volunteer-driven organisation as well, and those guys do such a fabulous job. They deserve a big shout out here today also. So well done to Paige and the team in there. We've now got Alice Graham. Sometimes we have interstate climbers popping on through. I don't know the gist of that as of today, but this is the 2022 Queensland Open lead titles. The qualifiers, folks, you're watching right now, the qualifications for the Open B and Masters. Later this afternoon, we will have the finals around about 2:30 to 3 o'clock, depending on how we go with all of the climbers and their times to do their qualification rounds. But we're moving pretty quickly through the list here, so should be quite good. We have the Masters a bit later on, and we also have a paraclimber as well today, which is awesome to see.
We need Ella next for the girls. Ella, if you want to get yourself ready, head on out.
Great to see the sport getting a little bit more diverse. And now it's in the Olympics. Well, it's getting a little bit more attention, and that's quite good for the sport. Fantastic to see. I'm sure one or two of these climbers here got their eyes on maybe getting themselves into the Olympics at some point, which would be quite a great goal for our up-and-coming climbers around Australia. I had a bit of a chat to a few of those climbers and boulderers as I've been able to do the last few competitions, and there's a number of those young climbers got their eyes on that prize, which is awesome to see. And as we go along, I'm sure we will see a lot of representation from Australia as the sport gets a bit more attention in the limelight and grows in popularity. We've seen a lot of climbers of late coming through. Nice knee bar there by Jim. Jim's looking solid. I think we just got a top over there from Alice as well. A fair few tops on the Open B female. So, we've got a strong field by the look of things. Jim looking pretty confident here coming around the lip. I think we're in for another top here, folks, by the look of things. So, not even puffing there, Jim. So I think he's done that in style. Another top from the Open B males.
So we do have Ella next, and Nathan.
We've got Ella Cornelison, and we've got Nathan Wright keeping rolling through.
The guy with the brush shirt is going to brush. So they're essentially cleaning the room, making sure there's not too much of a chalk build-up.
You can hear the MC in the background, and this is not a climber, by the way. You can see him there, brush it and crush it. What happens, folks, is the climbing team, or the setting team, sorry, will come along and clean the holes as they go. So they're not as dirty for the next set of climbers, and it's always nice to get a freshly clean hole in your hands, because they can get slippery, they can get dirty. People's feet and hands can sort of grease those holes up. Good part about right now, the weather in Queensland is quite cool, so climbing in hot weather is a bit average, to be honest, but the cool weather's actually quite nice, so it has less sweatiness and greasiness on the handholds. But just to make sure, the route setters will send up the climb some of the route setters there to just give it a bit of a brush and clean. There it is. He's doing a great job for the next set of climbers coming out. So we've got the next set of climbers. We've got Ella Cornelison, and we've got Nathan Wright, just waiting their turn to get on the wall and have a crack at it. We are 8 climbers through on the Open B male, and we are 5 climbers through on the Open B female, and making good progress on the on the lead climbing here today.
A little bit of confusion. Either way, the way it works out, Ella is getting a nicely brushed route. So that's good for Ella. So Ella, if you want to come out, get yourself ready. Ella, Cornelius will get you all tied in and ready. Ella, umbrella, Ella. All right, on the wall, up and climber, we got Nathan. Nathan's still part of open B male. We need someone quite judgy. Estelle's judgy. There she is.
All right, folks, we're back at it. About to get underway. Oh, we're already underway by the look of it. And we've got Nathan Wright making good progress on the overhang here. Quite a steep little climb, this one. And you've got to conserve the energy. He's moving himself into what I reckon would be the crux of the climb. Getting a nice little knee bar in there, maybe shaking out. Yeah, he's a little bit pumped. Looking to get a little bit of something, bit of energy back in his forearms there as we go. But this is where we've seen a few climbers fall off as they turn the lip here. But Nathan climbing smartly right now. And we'll see if he can make these last couple of moves count when it comes to his attempt here this morning on his qualifier. Making it work. A little bit of a pump, but it looks like he'll, yep, nice. Smart climbing there. Just a little bit of a rest and a shakeout before he made those last few moves. Just made sure he had a little bit left in the tank. So that's a top for Nathan. Got a few tops now. We've got a few climbers ready to roll. And the Masters female already underway, which is great. Compared to 40, which is Emily Amy's out and about. And looks like very comfortably. Moving reasonably comfortably, smart climbing, not having to move too fast.
He's the second Josh. So Josh Strawberry is getting ready for us, open
Emily doing well, finding a little rest as well. It's smart climbing, folks. Once you're on the wall and you're moving along, some, like I said before, some will like the idea of moving as fast and as quick as possible to get to the top hold. However, there are a few would take it a bit easier and have a bit of a rest on the way.
That's good enough.
Emily comfortably moving along. In no hurry.
We got Joshua getting ready.
Next climber out in a moment will be Joshua. Joshua's getting ready in the background there. We'll see how he goes as well. Should be quite good. And looks like Emily's made a pretty comfortable top there. Well done for Emily. First Masters female out and about. And Joshua underway in his attempt to make it into the finals. Bit of a shout out to those watching the live stream online. Thanks for joining us. Give us a shout out in the chat, folks. Let us know where you're from. I can see a few people on Facebook, a few people on the YouTube channels. Good to see. We can see the chats here at home, or we can see the chats here in the studio or in the climbing gym from you guys at home. So who are you supporting today, folks? If you're sitting there watching someone because you can't be here in person, let us know. Let us know. And Joshua up there in that roof, you can see he's full upside down and hanging, and he's made pretty good progress there, a long way up.
If he makes it, let's hear it.
Joshua making a top there. Pretty cool and collected on the way. So we'll see how the route setters feel about this. There's a few tops there, so maybe they might be getting a bit concerned here now. But like I said, how do you work it out as you go? For the scoring, well, folks, the idea that the scoring happens for the climbers as they progress up the wall.
Before they started, they're reading the route, which is exactly what it sounds like. They're trying to visualize the approach they're going to take. They're going to work out their beta. Don't correct me, it's called beta. Which is essentially just each of the moves they're making, their method, their approach. That's what they're doing with their reading route. That's what teams do.
Looks like we've now got competitor 43, which is Tina Colbier in the Masters females. Tina making pretty straightforward progress with this climb. You can see where it's got to go. It doesn't seem too tricky, but on smaller holds, get a little bit pumpy in there, folks. Shout out to those on YouTube and also in the Facebook page, folks. Great to see you guys here. We are getting some interesting little glitchy things from YouTube, so let us know if it's coming through fine. There we go. Bit of a shout out from Kai. Go the Beta family. Great to have you on, Kai. Let us know if the YouTube stream is looking fine. Facebook stream looks fine, but let us know if there's any challenges or issues, folks. Elise, bit of a shout out from the Beta Boulevard team. Yes, indeed, they are hosting a fantastic event so far, only just getting started, but the gym is looking fantastic, the routes look great, and climbers are getting right into it. Looks like a pretty comfortable top there for Tina as well. Looks like these Masters females certainly have earned the Masters title when it comes to their lead climbing here today. And looks like we've got our next Open B male out on the wall, Lachlan Farquhar. Let's see how he goes for his qualifier.
Next up for the ladies, I believe it's Peggy. Peggy's getting ready. She's got a chance to calm her nerves, breathe the room, and prepare herself.
Starts to get a bit on the pumpy side when you're coming through this little section of the roof here. Looks like he might be starting to flame out here. Yeah, there we go. You can see sometimes when those elbows come up, it was just a little bit pumped by that stage. Now some of the climbers make it look, you know, so easy. It's like how they're not even trying. But I can tell you right now, folks, they are trying, and trying very, very hard when it comes to them holding on up there. They look calm, but it's like a, what do they say? Like a duck on water. The legs are paddling hard and fast. You can see the head wall there, folks. There are some holds up there that are maybe for later on today. So it's going to be an interesting part of the finals later on today. So make sure you hang around for that one. The finals will be on between 2:30 and 5 p.m. Probably start around 2:30, 3 o'clock. We might go to a little video. But back soon. All right. The Open B males is getting a little bit of cleaning done right now, and as the females continue their journey up the wall. Now, whoever's on the wall right now, I don't have their number. Is that 65 or 75? I can't see. This could be Peggy KO. If it's the sequence, then maybe. We shall see. 65. I don't have a 65 on my list, but whoever you are, you're doing well. The B males is getting a bit of a clean there from the clean it crew. Good crowd out today. You can see nice shot there from the top and the balcony. But if we get a shot down on the crowd, there's plenty of people out and about supporting all of the climbers today. Looking pretty comfortable there. Nice little sort of drop knee there, just getting nice and close to the wall. You want to get your hips in. You want to be a bit closer as you climb. You don't want to be hanging out too far from the wall. For those who know what's going on, you know what I'm talking about. If you're new to climbing, maybe you're finding this via the social channels or someone sent you a link or something like that, then welcome along to the 2022 Queensland Open lead titles, folks. Looks like we might be getting a top here, which is nice again. There you go. So, I think that was Peggy. Maybe the number's not right, but I can't find a 65 at my list here, but that's sometimes the way it rolls here, folks, at these comps. We've got to roll with what we get. But whoever that was, they got themselves a top, and that'll put them in contention for the finals later on this afternoon between 2:30 and 3.
Janelle is currently third.
All right, well, we're back ready to get back at the Open B Male. That's all cleaned up and ready to go. Looking tidy. And
one of those is Joseph. Joseph currently being judged by Rocky.
looks like it might be Joseph out now. Joseph Paparone. Ready to give his competition a whirl. Looks like we've got Janelle Briggs here from the Masters Female.
Joseph has been given the thumbs up from the judges. It's all on him now.
Out the back, folks, you will probably see. We might even get one of the team to wander out the back and have a look. The climbers are in isolation, they're out there waiting for their turn. They've got some entertainment out there, a place to warm up, but you can't come out and watch the other climbers climb the climbs because that would give away all the moves, all the beta, which is a technical term. Well, it's a bit of a, what would you call that? A bit of a term that climbers use, beta, which is a sequence of moves or ways to do a climb. Most of the climbers will be out the back here. There you go, you see him out there stretching in isolation. Yeah, he's ready, he's pumped. And getting ready for their turn when it comes to their opportunity to get on the wall and see if they can make it to the top. And Janelle making pretty good progress. Joseph on the wall right now. Both of those climbers kind of dueling climbers at the moment, isn't it? It's good to see. Great shots by the team. And Joseph's just taking his time there. A little bit of a pump there. He's now getting into sort of an extra steep bit of territory. And not looking that comfortable, but we'll see how he sort of goes. He might sort of turn the power on now, and this is where a few of these moves look a little bit more chunky from here, and it's always easy to see them from when you're sitting in a comfortable chair. But Joseph off now. Oh, a little bit of a replay there from the team. Joseph, you could see him just pumping out there, just trying to find a position he was comfortable in, but wasn't ready for that next move. Bit crossed up in the arms there, I think, and really bit of a long reach on that one. So, looks like that Janelle might have made that to the top, so good to see. Good to see a bit of action here, a bit of top-out action from the climbers. Got a few more in the Masters females. Looks like it might be Angela Stark out next, and next on the Open B male will be Dylan Burney. We'll see if Dylan can make it to the top. We've had 5 tops, I think, or 6 tops so far in the Open B male. We've had 5 tops or 4 tops in the Open B female. And so far we've had 4 tops in the Masters female as well. So I think 8 competitors go into the finals, folks, for each of these competitions. There's 16 to 18 per group of competitors for today's finals or today's competition, which is the Open B male-female Masters and also the para. We've got 1 para climber, I believe, later on today. Australia has got their first World Cup climbing medal. Our para climber, Sarah Lakes. She won gold at the Salt Lake City World Cup climbing competition only just recently, a few weeks ago. Well, Angela Stark there, not making it to the top, but certainly giving it all she got for that attempt there. And we've got Dylan Burney out now, and looking a bit more comfortable, moving through that section there where Lachlan had a little bit of a challenge. Got a bit of strength to burn here, but not wasting it. And coming around this corner, we know that we've seen a few climbers come off there and making pretty easy progress of that one. It doesn't even look like he's trying, but he is, folks. Yeah, you can see his arms and shoulders would be certainly getting a little bit tired by that stage, but Dylan making a top. I'm sure he'll be stoked with that. 8 climbers move on into the finals, folks. 8 from the qualifiers will move into the finals. If there's a tie or if there's a number of competitors in a certain spot, how does the scoring work? Well, the scoring works, folks, from bottom to top. Obviously, you've got to start at the bottom. You climb to the top as high as you can and as fast as you can, in essence. If you can climb all the way without falling, that is the number one thing. But the person who climbs the fastest to that point also has a benefit. Each climb or each hold along the way will have a point, 1 through to 30 or 40. Each of those holds also has a plus if you move from one to the next, but you don't hold the next hold. That's called the plus move. So you could get 21 plus or 21. And if you were to reach the next hole, it would be 22. It's a pretty straightforward scoring system. So if you had 2 climbers who got to 20, number 20 hold. You would then go back on a count back to see how fast they got to that hold or to the top. That's how it works, folks. So the judges will be timing each climber as they go, and also they'll be tracking their scores. And we'll show you a little bit later on, maybe a bit of the live scoring as the day rolls on. You can see who might be in the qualifiers and who might not be. Usually at the end of the competition, or each round of the competition, the athletes will have a chance to have any appeals or anything like that when it comes to their turn or someone else's turn. And then they'll be in the finals. The finals today, folks, on Saturday, 18th of June, will be at around about 2:30, 3 o'clock. So stick around for that. Let everyone know at home. If you're watching online now, thanks for joining us. Be great if you could share the link out and about. Bit of a shout out. Thanks for the support there from Kai and Elise for Peggy. And away we go.
So Wing Chang is stood there, he's having a quick read, getting ready, as is Melinda. Wing Chang gets a thumbs up from the judges.
All right, we've got our judges there, folks. You can see in the different coloured vests, we've got our judges in the fluoro yellow. We've got our belayers in the fluoro pink. And in the green, I believe we've got our volunteers and support team. There you go, volunteer. Great to see. Bit of a shout out to all of those guys too, guys and girls. Fantastic to have such a great team of volunteers. Hey, if you're sitting at home and you're thinking, I'd love to get involved, they would absolutely love it. Come on down to Beta Boulevard. Find them online, folks. And if you want to come volunteer, give us a shout out. Always great to have a few extra hands, and you can get involved in the competition, have a bit of fun. Great network of people here. Bit of a shout out there from Jade. Go Ange! Good to see you guys supporting online as well, and it's nice to have a few people supporting the climbers. Who we got up here now? We've got Wing Chun Lung out and about on the wall, looking pretty comfortable also. And we've got Melinda Wadek in the Masters females. Let's see how she goes here right today with her campaign to make it into finals a bit later on today. Wing Chun looking very comfortable. Just trying to find the right sequence of hands and body parts to go in to the move to get around the lip here. And you can see his climbing style is a little bit more dynamic, a bit more springy, folks. Where a few people before you might have seen maybe a little bit more, a bit slower, a bit more slow burn. But he's made it comfortably to the top. Well done. Another top there for the Open B male. And we've got 6 or 7 tops already. We've got 4 competitors to go. We've got Sam Piao, Chad Horton, Lee Huey, and Peter Waldeck to come in the Open B. Actually, no, those 2 are in the Masters, sorry. 2 more competitors in the Open B male, Sam and Chad. And I think we just had, that was Melinda right there in the Masters females. I don't know if we saw a top there or not. But up next could be Helen Stubbs. I think we haven't seen her climb just yet. A few fist pumps there from Wing Chun. He's pretty happy with his qualifier round, I'm sure. A few of the other competitors hanging around. Some of the open A's here just having been part of the crowd, which is good, or some of the team have already climbed. So it's always great to see these the climbers hanging around supporting each other. And I think we've got Sam Bahua up next.
One of the great things about climbing, even in a competitive space, is how supportive each of these athletes are of each other. It's the nature of the sport. When you go out climbing with someone, your peers, you are literally, as a belayer, helping them, willing them up the wall. And so when you compete against them in a competition, you still want them to do well. It's an anomaly, the support each of these athletes have for each other. So right now, let's support Sam. It's his chance. He's worked toward this. He's trained. And this is what it comes down to, this one route right now. I believe Eddie is getting ready for the second route. So we'll have two competitors simultaneously attacking the route.
All right, folks, we've got Eddie here, our one and only paraclimber here today. And he's going to give it a crack. They've set a specific route for Eddie Sparks, our paraclimber competitor. Like I said before, folks, Australia just got its first World Cup gold medal. There is a World Cup circuit for paraclimbing, speed climbing, and lead climbing and bouldering. And they've been going for many, many years. And we have been sending team members to compete for many years from Australia, all around the world. We've got our first gold in the World Cup series, and that was from our paraclimber, Sarah Lakes, only a few weeks ago in the Salt Lake City competition. So there you go. That's pretty cool, pretty awesome. We now have Eddie Sparks, our one and only paraclimber here today, which is fantastic to see. Over on B male, we have got Sam Horton making his attempt on this B male, and he's made that move. He's looking a little bit shaky. Hopefully he can bring it together for the top. Oh, the elbow's coming out. Oh, come on, buddy. High. Oh, well done, well done. Well, you can see the grimace on his face there. That was fantastic to see, but Sam almost made it to the top. The whites of his eyes, he could see the top hole, but just couldn't make that happen. But well done, Sam. Good job, mate. But right here, you got Eddie Sparks as our one and only paraclimber here today, making good progress as she climbs up the wall. Go Eddie, go Chad. Big shout out there from Cheryl at home. I think Chad is up next. So hang in there, Cheryl. Eddie looking pretty solid here right now. And the top is in sight. I think this is going to be a top here. Pending any disaster at this point, Eddie's looking pretty comfortable. One more move to the top, 2 hands, and yes, top there for Eddie. There it is. Oh, you can see the whites of his eyes there in that replay. What a great shot by the team. All right, we've got Chad Horton on, and Cheryl Horton is at home. Big shout out for Chad. This one's for you, Cheryl. Looking pretty comfortable so far, so Chad just testing where he wants to clip that quick draw from, trying to find a comfortable position or place to make your clips, folks, is part of the strategy of climbing as well. You want to find the best spot to do that from, and as I said before, folks, you have to clip before you climb past the quick draw, past your knees. It's a safety issue, so the judges will penalise you and or disqualify you if you keep climbing. You can climb up and climb down, but you must clip them in sequence in a safe manner as part of the climbing protocol as we go along, folks. Sam needs to make one more clip here as he goes through as well. Looking pretty comfortable. Not Sam, sorry, Chad. And did that in good style. So well done, Chad. Top from Chad, and I think Cheryl will be pretty happy about that, Chad, so well done. Great to see a little bit of support coming your way online here. So there's the schedule, folks, which is for today. Those times are, fluid and flexible with about 20 to 30 minutes either side, so roll with us, trying to get the climbers organised and ready to roll. When you've got 80 to 90 competitors to get organised, that takes a bit of time, but we'll hear just quickly a little word from our sponsor. All right, back at it. We've got a few climbers to go. Actually, I think that's it for the Open B male, folks. That's the Open B male. We're good. We're done and dusted. But I think the Open B female and the Masters female are done. Have a little break here for a moment. Small little gap in the proceedings. I'm sure out soon will be the next round of qualifiers for the Open B male and the Open B female. They do have 2 qualifier routes that they will be climbing, folks. So stand by. We've got one more here. I think we've got some of the Masters, actually. The male Masters. We've got two male Masters, Duncan Steele and Scott Duncan, about to have their crack at the qualifier. So stand by, folks. Won't be far away. The action will be back on schedule real soon.
So Twee, a very strong bowler, as I'm sure all of you know. He's just told me his technique today is to get up this end fast.
Okay. Looks like we've got our first Masters climber out here, but I don't have them on my list. Number 12. If anyone recognises who that is on the wall, give us a shout out in the chat, folks. But whoever it is, doing extremely well. Looking pretty comfortable so far. Making quick progress up to this part. You know, the roof part is the pumpy part, so it gets you a little bit pumped for a bit of a medium risk move around this corner here and up into the head wall. But the holes are big, but they don't feel big enough sometimes by the time you get there. But so that was the top there from Peter to number 12. We'll see who's out next in the lineup as well. We've got, could be one or two more Masters males in the competition today. All right, folks. Well, looks like another Masters male here, but not on my list. Oh, hang on. Hang on, there we go. There's a different page. All right. Under control now, folks. We have got Peter Waldeck on the wall right now, and the climber prior was Huey LaHuey, making the top. Masters male, we have 1, 2, 6 climbers in the Masters male competition. Up now, Peter Waldeck. There are two routes, folks, for the qualifications. And right now, you're seeing the same route for the Open B male and the Masters male. Same for the Masters female and the Open B female. Later on today, we'll have the finals. 8 climbers progress into those finals. And We're now just seeing Peter Walder progressing up the wall pretty smoothly. Some of the climbers who make it to the Masters version of the world. Okay, you can see some of their techniques are pretty tidy. So just trying to get himself set for this sequence through the roof. You've got to get your hands in the right way, facing and holding the right hold for the right move to the next one. I've seen a few of the climbers get a little bit pumped and worn out in this section. That's what the route setters designed these climbs to do. You know, warm the climbers up, create what you might call a crux, or the hardest part of the route, and a little bit of a pumpy section to the wall. It looks like he's just trying to work it out here, getting a little pumped right now, but we'll see if he can make his way through this roofy section. And I think we might. He needs to dig deep for this now. Looking, elbows up a little, bit pumped. Oh, yes! Making it work. You can see the legs shaking. Giving it all he's got right now. He's still going to make a clip and a big yell, a big scream. Make something around the corner. He's going to make the clip here. And this is always the part where you can get extra pumped when it comes to... Now, this is the next... Oh, no! Peter. Oh, there you go. No top for Peter. But he put some effort in there. You could hear a few screams from the crowd. Well, from Peter anyway. He wasn't letting it go down without a fight. Well done.
I don't know who did this roster, but after Peter comes home.
All right. Well, you could see him really bearing down on that. Didn't want to give that one up without a fight. He was a bit bummed about that, but well done. Big effort as we go. So, still going with the Masters males. Next climber up. We shall see the sequence that they're bringing them out in. We've already had Huey and Peter. Got a top from Huey, no top from Peter.
So I do like Paul's shirt, the appropriate mountain goes to give him his
See how the next Masters male goes. Welcome, folks, to the 2022 Queensland Open lead titles here in Beta Boulevard, Logan. Great to have you with us online. For those at home, I might just quickly hear from our sponsors. Back at it, folks. Got our next Masters climber out on the wall, Paul Finch. Paul Finch now is going to give it his all on this route. Same route that the Open B male and the Masters climb. There will be two qualifier routes to be climbing. This is the first one. We'll have a small break. And then we'll get into the second one. The best of the two climbs, cumulative, then we will have our finalists for this afternoon, folks. So don't go away. Hang out with us for the day. Leave the YouTube or the Facebook running. Great to see some live action from the 2022 Queensland Open lead titles here in Logan. And Paul making good progress, looking very comfortable so far. Shaking out just before this steep sequence here. You've seen a few climbers in the roof, looking down at the crowd, getting them pumped up. Let's see how he goes through this part here, where it starts to get a bit of the business. See what sequence he can manoeuvre through in that section. Good footwork, nice. Keeping those arms straight. You can see when a climber starts to get a little bit tired, their elbows come up and out, and they start to get the wobbles in a leg or an arm. Will often predicate them coming off the wall. We're just sort of trying to work out the sequence here. It's not as easy as it looks. Some of the climbers have made it seem very easy, but you can see when some just need to find the right way through. Get a little bit of a pump now. He's not too far from the top though, but sometimes one move is a long way when it comes to climbing. 2 more moves and a clip for him. Looks like he's got it in the tank, so I think he should be fine. A little bit of a puff right now, but well done. Well done, Paul. Yes. And a top from Paul. Good to see. A few tops from the Masters. Looks like we might have 3 more to go. Gregory Hall, Scott Duncan, Duncan Steele. All right, we've got Duncan Steele next up in the Masters. All right, let's have a look at a little video. All right, next out is going to be Duncan. Duncan Steele from the Masters, Men's Masters. Guns out, sun's out for Duncan. Or sun's out, guns out. Looks like it's a fabulous day outside. Queensland can put on some very nice winter weather, folks. Let us know where you're dialing in from today. Give us a shout out in the chat, in the YouTube chat, or the Facebook chat. Let us know. We're coming to you live from Beta Boulevard here in Logan, just outside of Brisbane. And you're watching Duncan Steele, Masters male, climbing very well through this roof. Duncan looking pretty comfortable in this roof section, but starting to maybe get a little bit of a pump going on. Certainly gets all the body needed for this move, and nice knee bar up in there, making that smart move from one of the Masters to make sure get as much rest as you progress up the wall. Yep, Duncan making that look pretty easy. A little bit of effort underneath the roof there, but used technique and experience, I'm sure, to make sure he could have enough left in the tank to give it a go.
So that was Duncan Steele. Next up, we've got Scott Duncan.
We've got one more, maybe two more in the Masters Male. We've got Scott Duncan, and we're just on the right in the middle of the qualifications here, folks. Open B, Masters and Para. Later on today, there will be the finals. Hang around for a weekend of packed action here, coming to you live from the 2022 Queensland Open Lead State Titles. Let's hear from one of our sponsors while we're waiting around. All right, the belay is in place. The climb is ready to go. Scott Duncan, number 3. Right from the bottom. One of our Masters males here today. Making his first few moves off the ground. And his climb is underway. Once you leave the ground, folks, that means your climb has started, and you progress onwards and upwards, obviously, following the same coloured holes. Anyone who's looking at home and thinking, how does it work? Well, the route setters get given a bit of a task to set a climb for each of the climbers, or the sections of climbers, and their job is to make sure it's hard enough but not too hard, to make sure that the climbers are able to get through. Being a route setter is a bit of a stressful job, I reckon, but they do a fantastic job. Big shout out to those guys, obviously. And we've got Scott Duncan here, given it a bit of a whirl. This is where it starts to get a little bit pumpy under this roof. And he's already shaking out there, just making sure he sort of can see that there might be a little bit of work to do before he charges on in to these sections and moves. So, you know, conserve the energy, smart climbing as we go. We shall see. So far, so good. Nice. Pretty efficient on the turn of the lip there and making it to the bigger hold. Looking pretty comfortable, but starting to get a little bit of pump, I'm sure, at this point in time, but only a few moves to go, and going to make it work to this last hold. Yep, bit of a deep breath there, but Scott making the clip and making a top out of that one, so well done. Top from Scott.
Our final master tonight is Gregory.
Gregory Hall is our final climber out today for the Masters Male in the qualifier round here. Bit of huffing and puffing there, yeah, and like we said, folks, it seems like it's, you know, slow and not so hard, but when you're hanging on by the skin of your teeth, there's plenty going on. The blood's pumping, the adrenaline's going. The hands and arms and shoulders getting tired. Plenty to manage, that's for sure. So our last master out today, Gregory Hall, just about to throw down and get it ready.
He's the last of the male masters, but he is, of course, a legend in his own way. In his own right, at least.
you can hear the well, hopefully you can hear the today's MC in the background, and he was just sort of letting the crowd know that in the Masters, well, the Masters category is over 40, I believe, 40 and over, and we do have a regular climber. He's not here today, but he's 82. Climbing is a great is a great community to be involved in. Looks like we might have a little bit of choppiness going on with our feed, folks. Just let me know how it's streaming to you right now. Might be one or two little things happening. Hopefully we're still coming out okay. YouTube looks like it's okay, but Facebook might be playing a little bit of funny buggers right now. So let me know in the chat, folks, if that's occurring at this moment in time. Hopefully not. Looks like YouTube is going quite strongly still. Talia, big shout out to Rock Sports. Great to see Talia. Thanks for the shout out and the support wherever you are. Looks like Facebook might be back okay right now. There you go. We're in the hands of the internet gods, folks. Internet is the number one thing that gives the old live streams either some great value or some not so great value. But we've got Gregory Hall, our last Masters male, out today, and just finding himself here. Just have a little look at what's got to go on up underneath this roof. This is where, you know, the business begins, folks. A little bit pumpy. You get on okay hands, but full body up in that roof, and you start to see him shaky a little bit and in a little bit maybe pumped. We'll see if he can find the right moves through the roof. Still doing quite well there. And this move making nice foot on, and a few more moves to go, but this is where that one big move around the lip and a clip at the same time really needs to be done. Oh. Finding that, yeah, there you go, nice. I think he's got the pump going here, folks. All right, let's go, come on, yes! Well done, Gregory. And just match that now, get that heel in. He's just trying to activate that glute. I think the adrenaline's kicking in, but that's it. He's done. Oh, well done. Well, that was awesome. The crowd giving him a good bit of support there, and he didn't leave anything unconfirmed on the wall there. He did fantastically. So well done.
That's all that done for now. Stick around, there's plenty more to come. I'm gonna go get some freebies. Bring back to all you good people. Some free stuff.
All right, folks. Well, we are waiting for the competitors now to get ready for their second qualifier round or route. They've climbed their first route for the qualifiers. Part of the rules are that every climber must have at least 30 minutes between. So stick with us, folks. We'll just put a bit of background music on. We're getting ready for the second of the routes for the qualifiers today. The accumulation of both of those routes will be how we find our finalists. A bit later on, you can see the finals will be on about 2:30. So stick with us, folks. This is still the qualifiers. And we are coming to you live from Beta Boulevard here in Logan right now for the 2022 Queensland Open lead titles. Saturday, the qualifiers of the Open B Male, Female Masters, and also the Para today. So stick with us. We'll have the second route out and about real soon. Don't go away. All right, folks, we're back into it. The second qualifier for the Open B male. Jim just had a crack a moment ago. Didn't get a top on it. But we've got Nathan right here, giving the second qualifier a bit of a whirl. And it's a bit more, well, it's a different style, this one. Very vertical, a bit more slabby. You can see the holds are a bit smaller. And quite different when it comes to the type of climbing that we've got on this section of the wall. A little bit more with your feet rather than your shoulders and your back. And a little bit smaller when it comes to the size of the holds. But, you know, often they're orientated in a way that's uncomfortable, and you'd prefer them just to be a little bit better than that. But, you know, that's the way it goes. But Nathan looking pretty good so far. Getting high on the route, and you can see a lot of small holds, and what would be known as quite a sequency hold, a sequency climb, folks, where certain type of holds need to be held and used in a certain way, especially with, you can see how small those feet are. It's about the size of a 20-cent coin. He's off, and at any moment, seems a bit bummed about that, but, you know, Nathan not making it to the top on that one. Out next we got Joshua Gowdy. And
on average, how many pairs of shoes per climber? Minimum 3. 6. Can anybody beat 6? Anybody got more than 6 pairs of shoes? Yeah. 7.
yeah, well, that is true. If you heard that, folks, from the commentator, climbers do have a problem with shoes, or they certainly end up buying a lot of shoes. And for many of us, you have shoes for certain styles of climbing is our excuse anyway. But you might end up with a bit of a stiffer pair of shoes for something on the slabs, something a bit softer for a bit more maybe smearing / slopier stuff, and in the roof, well, you know, something a bit more aggressive, pointy toes. But we've got Joshua next, Joshua Gowdy, number 61, competitor number 61, out right now, ready to give his next whirl at this. Bit of apologies there, folks. Before, we had some challenges with our live stream to Facebook, but YouTube is going strong, so we are going live on the Facebook page and the YouTube page at the same time. Sports Climbing Queensland, and we're also going live on the Beta Boulevard climbing as well. In the background, we do have our second qualifier out for the females as well. Our Open B female, and a couple of good shots here, a bit of a dueling climbing. A little bit challenging to get the right shots in this gym, folks, so stick with us. Hopefully by the finals we'll have it dialed, but right now, which is awesome, you get to see them side by side as we climb through up through the roof. And now we've got Candace. Candace out. Candace Cartier on females. And we've got Josh on the open B male. A little bit slabbier, and they've switched it up a little bit, which is fantastic. This is where the high point of Nathan was before. Yes, making it through that high point, looking reasonably solid actually. And Candace looking pretty good. We saw the open B males moving through this section started to become a little bit pumpy. One or two more moves for Josh at this moment in time. He's just struggling a little bit with that clip, but still looking fairly comfortable at this point. He's got to be careful not to... Oh, no. Oh, he'd be bummed by that. I think that was a foot slip. He was looking comfortable, but not to be for Josh. And we still have Candace up here making it work, turning the head wall through the roof, and to be honest, looking quite comfortable with this second qualifier for the Open B females. You can see, maybe here you watch bit of a replay. When we get a bit high, we'll see just the foot pop from Josh. I don't think there was anything going on too far for his technique, but just a little bit of rubber. And popped up there. Maybe a little bit early on the replay, but you'll see in this next little bit where his foot just blows off right here. You go. The foot pop in slow motion. All right. And we've got Eddie over here on her second. She got one top before. Candace another top. So two tops for Candace, looking good in her campaign for the finals a bit later on today. A little bit more of a step up now for Eddie on her second climb of the day. And we've got Lachlan out and about. Lachlan Farquhar out on Open B male. And Eddie there on our para female climb. A little bit more stiff this time for Eddie, making things a little bit spicier, the route setters. And Lachlan moving along quite nicely. Finding himself in this lower section here, reasonably comfortable. Come on, Eddie. One more move. And you can see that around the corner there. You can just see up high around the corner is a little something for her as well. And she's using that arete, which is keeping her on the wall. Oh, Lachlan off early in his campaign on this slabbier wall. You can see the different styles, folks. There's usually like a slab, a roof, different techniques required, which is crimping or smearing, hand jams, you name it. Lots of acronyms in climbing, folks. But we do have now one of the females out there. Eddie's off, and We've got Michaela Roberts making her way up the Open B female second qualifier today. And Eddie there doing very well, or did very well in her second climb for the day. And now we've got Michaela Roberts. You're struggling a little bit with that clip. There's a couple of ways to do those clips, folks, and it can certainly be the difference between staying on the wall and falling off it when it comes to doing them efficiently.
They're one of our sponsors if you wanted to get a little clip.
Later on, folks, we'll have the finals. Make sure you hang around for that. Right now, you're watching the qualifiers. This is the second lead of the day, the second climb of the day. Each of the competitors will have a chance to do 2 routes for qualifiers to get themselves into a position. The cumulative position it is, or will be, but it's not to be on this one for Michaela. And over on men's qualifier number 2, we now have Joseph Paparone. No tops so far on men's qualifier number 2, folks. We've got Joseph making pretty good progress, to be honest, up the wall. Looking comfortable so far. But again, there's plenty to go in this climb, even though it looks not as intense as the one up through the roof. Certainly a lot more going on when it comes to the technique and the sequence of these holds and the climbs. They're doing quite well. You can see him there, folks, with his right hand. That's what's called a crimp. Really bearing down on a small hold. Just the ends, the pads of your fingers, on the ends of your fingers, making contact. Oh, and again, foot slip. Lot of technique when it comes to the feet in slab climbing, when the climbing becomes more vertical, not so steep, folks. It's important to be very confident on your feet. Those shoes that you see, if anyone's watching at home and they're like, what's going on here? What am I watching? Well, this is the lead climbing competition. Lead climbing is where you climb from bottom to top using a safety rope, and the process is counted or scored in a way that each hold has a score, 1 through to 20, 30, 40, whatever the number of holds on the route is. And as you progress up the wall, folks, you get a cumulative score, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. You reach into a certain hold, you fall off on that hold, that's your score. If you do try to reach for the next hold in a positive way, judged by the judges, then you will get a plus score, 21 plus, etc. Also, if and when there are 2 climbers that have reached the same level on the climb, then folks, you will see the count back on time for the judges will split the field based on how fast the climbers have climbed the route also. So it's time, it's based on number of holds they make up the wall and the time it takes them to climb it. Pretty straightforward. few things that climbers do have as little enhancements of their climbing experience. One, you'll see a chalk bag on their back there. They have some climbers' chalks, like gymnastics chalk, helps with reducing the sweat and also improving the grip on each of those holds. You'll also see specialised shoes. They are grippy, very grippy rubber, and we've got a top there from Hannah, and that Hannah has 2 tops. She topped the first qualifier as well. Over here on men's Open B men's, the second qualifier, we've got Dylan Burney, and Dylan making it to the section where it's a little bit pumpy. We've seen a few of the climbers make it to here. It starts to get a little bit interesting and sequency from this stage on. Smaller holds, smaller feet, and as we've seen a few of the climbers, those feet aren't as secure as you want them to be, popping off fairly quickly without notice. So this'll be the difference between using your feet really well. Trying to get that clip there. Nice manoeuvre there. You can see he's got a heel on there. That's called a heel hook. And those shoes, like I said before, folks, are specialised. They are specialised grippy rubber. Different styles of shoes and different styles of makers. Very similar potentially to the world of like ballet shoes or any specialised equipment when it comes to certain sports. Shoes are certainly a specialised piece of equipment. Making it now potentially 1 or 2 more moves and to a high point here. Looking reasonably comfortably, to be honest, I think right now. When it comes to Dylan and his attempt here, you can see there's a small triangle there. That's what's called a volume, folks. I think 1 more move up here. For this move here would be, you know, the equal high point. If he can make it 1 more move to the top. Dylan bearing down. Just 1 clip to go, and then Dylan would be scoring a top there, folks. Well done to Dylan. The crowd were very happy about that, so well done, well done. Over on the open female, we've got Beck Barnett. And we know the business starts up here in the roof section. This is kind of the entree to the climb, right down low. But certainly it's not a give me by any stretch of the imagination. There's certainly plenty to do.
For the Open B females. She's looking for a strong performance on this one.
She got a top on the previous one, folks. We've had 2 tops on this one from Candice and also Hannah. Beck topped the previous qualifying climb also, and I'm sure she would be quite keen to make it 2 tops to get herself securely locked into the finals for the Open B females. We shall see how she goes. This is where the business begins. Really a bit more going on here in the roof for her. Just needs to get that clip done. You can see the belayers. Oh, not to be for her. No top for Beck. You see the belayers at the bottom, folks. They're holding the ropes for all the climbers. And those guys and girls are the ones keeping the climbers safe. Their job's pretty important, obviously, to make sure that the climbers don't fall and have any dangerous encounters with the ground. And they do a fabulous job. Lots of training, lots of safety, lots of support, lots of backup there. Big shout out to those guys. Long day for them as we go. Our next male climber out on the wall. Wing Chun Lung. Wing got a top on the last one, which is great. Let's see if he can get himself a top on this one. We haven't seen, we just saw a top one moment ago from Dylan.
So we've currently got Wing Chun and Alice.
Let's see if we can get ourselves another top as we go. Got Alice Graham now out on the wall for her second qualifier. And Alice also had a top on the first qualifier today. So I'm sure she would like to repeat that on this one. Moving pretty easily through the bottom section of that blue climb there. Wing Chun looking pretty good, looking solid right now when it comes to his footwork. You can see the look of concentration on his face right now, and making sure he gets the sequence of feet right. And you can see it's been done a few different ways by a few of the climbers. You can't really see it right now, but around there on his left hand is a bit of what we would call an arete, and a few holds on that arete just make it a little bit more interesting for him to hold on to. Losing a small amount of balance there for this clip. Looks like it's a bit precarious. Alice making sure it's all working for her. Now the business begins. Wing Chun making a top. He's got to clip the chains before the top is awarded. Not over till that's done. And I would say pretty comfortably getting a top there. So that's 2 tops for him. Would put him in good stead for the finals, I would expect. We've now got Alice moving into this section, looking a little bit more comfortable in the roof right now. And only 1 or 2 hard more moves to go to get around this lip. And the top is not far away, I would expect here, other than something untoward happening. She's looking very comfortable so far. So nice and strong. Good work with the knees and the hips, keeping the body close to the wall. Arms are still straight, and using some very efficient movements to make a top there. Well done, well done. Alice, 2 tops from Alice. So we've got 2 tops from Candice, 2 tops from Hannah, and 2 tops from Alice so far in the females. So far we've got Wing Chun, 2 tops, and we had a top from Dylan a moment ago. Dylan Burney, and that means we've had 2 tops from Dylan Burney also. A top in the first qualifier, top in the second. Back in a moment, folks. We're back at it, folks. We've got Ali Picalis right now up on Open B female.
So we got Ellie up for the girls.
Most of the climbers making it pretty simply through the bottom section of the climb. Usually, especially with lead climbing, the route setters don't put anything too difficult at the bottom. But as we make it along the routes, they steadily but surely get a little bit more difficult as you go. Ultimately ending up in a crux of some description somewhere, you would think. And the climbers need to negotiate that as they go. You're watching the 2022 Queensland Open Lead titles, folks, and later on today we will have the finals. So stick around for that. That'll be about 2:30, 3 o'clock this afternoon, the finals. Only 8 of the competitors will move through into that. For all of us, we're eagerly awaiting who will get through. This is the second qualifying route to see if Ellie might make it through to the finals. We shall see if she can make that happen. Now this is where the business begins. Well, just under the roof there, a little bit more stiff this climb in the roof than the previous one. But it's a different style of climbing. We've got the belayers there making sure the climbers are safe. Ellie slowly but surely making it on through, and you're starting to see our male B climber, Sam Pahau. Sam, Ellie, big cut loose from Ellie, but holding it there. Getting a little bit shaky there, Ellie, and see if she can hold this on the turnaround. Oh, good efforts there. Right, we've got Sam over here on Open B male, and at the moment looking fairly solid. Starts to get a little bit of the business as he gets up and into this second volume. That black triangle there, folks, on the wall, that's what's called a volume. You can see a number of them here and there. They're used often by route setters and Sam's off. So no joy for Sam on this one. Sam.
Next up for the ladies, we've got Asia. And for the guys, it's John. John and Asia, get ready.
All right. There you see it, folks. That's what's coming up later on, so don't go anywhere. Stick around. Be awesome to hang out with you and see what performances come from the finals later on this afternoon. We've got our next Open B female out on the wall, and that's Azua Stevenson. Let's see what she can do on this blue qualifier.
Asia is up and climbing. Let's hear it for Asia.
Looking pretty comfortable, not in any rush. It's always good to conserve your energy for the harder stuff. Let's see how Azure goes.
I'm expecting some huge noises because I've got some freebies.
You can hear the crowd getting a bit pumped up. The MC's giving away some freebies down there, while the crowd's getting entertained by the climbing, which is great to see. We've got our next Open B male out and about on the qualifying climb right now. Joel Oritz. Dummer. Joel here. Both of the climbers making good progress now, so starting to get in the business section of this Rajua, and looking pretty comfortable. Found the knee bar, nice knee bar in the roof there, that'll help her out a lot. Oh, bit of a dung. Sometimes those swings can be a little bit scary, folks. All right. You could see she had that knee bar in there pretty comfortably, but just got her leg caught. And got a bit of a peck on the scone there from that volume in the roof. I'm sure she'll be okay. But now we've got Joel here. Doing well. Doing quite nicely, and he's got still got a bit of climbing to do on this one. Really is, these next few moves are quite stiff. Have to get your feet right and really go strong on the fingers. But right now, looking pretty solid, to be honest. Oh, and we've seen that a couple of times. That high foot popping Joel off, disappointingly. I think he was in his mind pretty close to the top there. Bit of a bummer, but watch this, that tricky foot. 1 minute. Oh, 1 second you're on, and the next second you're off. Can happen to the best of us, unfortunately. So, slowly but surely, finding out who our finalists might be. At the moment, we've had 2 tops from Candice, Hannah, Beck, and Alice in the female Open B. Right now, we've had 2 tops from Dylan and Wing Chong. So, fair few climbers to go still in the open male.
Let's have a big cheer for Asia. She walks away.
So just got a little bit of a bonk on the head there from one of the holds on the wall. But she's okay, folks, so don't worry at home if you're concerned. Looking fine. Right now, we have on the wall competitor number 55, Chad. Chad Horton. And Chad did well, we got a top on the previous one for Chad. So I'm sure he'd be very keen to make sure that occurs on this climb as well. You can see in the background the brushing team are up on the route giving it a clean, as we explained before. Sometimes these climbs pick up a little bit of dirt and dust and grease and sweat. They just need to be cleaned up as you go along. But Chad, not too worried about that at this moment in time. I'm sure he's concentrating on all of the moves he needs to make in this next little bit. Not too far from the top in as the crow flies, folks, but plenty of moves still to go. And watch for the feet flying off. That's been the big thing, really, in all of this, hasn't it, folks? Where we've been looking for someone getting a bit closer to where they want to be, and ever so slightly weighting the foot the wrong way and popping off. Nice bit of footwork there by Chad. One more move from the top. This is the one where we've got yes, making that a little bit more easier than it was, I would expect there. But 2 tops from Chad. Well done, Chad, on that one. So, you know, he'd be pretty happy with that, I'm sure. Bit of a thanks to his belaya.
All right, I'm quite excited about our next climber.
And who we got out next?
There's been a lot of talk online that maybe I think Dylan is the best looking. I'm going to dispel all those myths. Warren is my favourite. Warren's my favourite. Look at him.
All right, folks, don't go away.
He's got the whole dad thing going on. I like it.
All right, back at it. Our next competitor up on the Open B male. Our next competitor, Open B male. We've got Warren Luck. Let's see what luck Warren has on this one today. How did Warren go in the other one? I don't think he got a top on the other one. I haven't got it on my scoreboard here, but can't see it. But let's see what Warren's got on this one. Maybe he'll be a bit luckier on this one. We shall see. Making his way up. Big shout out. Folks listening in at home, Rock Sports in the Valley in Brisbane has Pump Fest next weekend. Pump Fest. Look them up. Rock Sports in the Valley has Pump Fest next weekend. Come one, come all. Plenty of categories there for the 26th. Check them out online. Sign up for the comp. It's always great to do. We're watching Warren making his way up there now. Let's see. Looking pretty comfortable so far, but still plenty of moves to go on this little tricky one here. Plenty of footwork needed. Moving into that quite nicely, so there we go. Good job, Warren. Using some fancy footwork there. Oh! And the belayers doing a great job. Bit of the crowd. Replaying through in Warren's own head, going, maybe I should have put my foot that way or this way. But it's easy from the ground, folks. It's not so easy on the wall. But Warren wasn't lucky on that one. And a bit of tricky footwork for him. In the background, we've got our next Open B female ready to take the wall.
hadn't made my mind up yet about the girls. I think Janina's my favourite.
And that's Janina Moorcroft. Let's see how Janina goes. I didn't see Janina make a top or how she went in the first qualifier. But now it's all for Janina now. The crowd's getting involved. Let's see what she can do. She's clipped it up the wrong way there, folks. So she's upside down clipped. And she needs to unclip that top one and reclip it. You can't see it, but yeah, she's had to reclip. Sometimes you can clip the rope in the wrong way. You can grab the wrong piece of it. She just did that, which is a very easy mistake to make sometimes. But it's great the judges picked that up and keeping her safe as a climber. Straight onto it for her as well. So good job all round. And Jacinta looking comfortable on this one so far. But we know all the work needs to happen in the roof, folks. That's where it all happens. Not over till you clip the chains at the top. And now really, as you start to get into the steeper section of this wall, this climb, this is where the work begins. We've already had 3 tops so far on this one from the Open B females. I'm sure Jacinta would like to make it a 4th. There's a bit of a sequence in here, how you get into the roof and which hand you do it from. Jacinta being quite clever and smart, making a more comfortable clip from the stance lower, so she's not sort of making a clip from some physical positions in the roof. I think that was smart climbing right there. And just before she sort of moves out into the higher section of this pumpy section in the roof, making sure she's got that clip out of the way so she can, all she needs to do is just concentrate on the climbing, which is good. So a bit of smart climbing there, preserving the energy, shaking out as she comes through the roof. And if she can get to this lip with a bit of gas left in the tank, looks like that might be the case. She can clip those chains at the top. Only a couple of moves for her to do that now, and trying to get that little knee bar in there. It's a nice little tricky little knee bar, which makes it work. You can see she's starting to get a little bit of a pump right now, which is understandable. She's been on that wall for a while now. Really a couple more moves to the top. And she's really wanting this one now, so. Just flamed out at the top there. Bit of a bummer there, but that's okay. Well done. Janina, unfortunately not to be for that one.
So that was it for the Open B females. Which means next up we have the Masters
All right.
females.
Open B females. Back in a second, folks. All right, that was it for our Open B females, folks, and we are now on to our Masters females. All of the categories today have 2 qualifying climbs. We've now got Janelle Briggs. Janelle topped her first qualifier, so we would expect big things from Janelle on the second qualifier. Let's see how she goes. And this one's a little bit steeper for all of the competitors, the Open B females and the Masters females. Seen the Open B males climb this one, so everyone's had a bit of a turn on the blue roof climb. We've also got over on the wall with the Open B males. We've got Massimo Bedoya out on the wall as well on Open B male. We've got Janelle Briggs in the Masters female. You can see Massimo climbing into shot right there, so let's see how he goes.
And another one for Mass. 2.
Janelle looking pretty comfortable so far. Massimo also. Starts to get a little bit in the trickier section here from this volume that Massimo's hanging on to now. Just it starts to get a bit sequency, this white climb for the Open B male. We'll see how it goes. Janelle very comfortable so far, looking in great shape, and a few moves through this roof and we're up into the final headwall section. So let's see how she does this. Looking comfortable, to say the least. So, oh, damn it. And I think that was just, she wasn't tired. I think she just went, up with the wrong hand and just got a little bit out of sequence. I think she was a bit frustrated with that one. Not to be Janelle for another top, but a good attempt, that's for sure. Massimo here. High up on this one. He's got to be careful he can't touch any of the other holds on the wall right now. That certainly is a no-no. You're only allowed to use the holes designated to the climb that you're on. And those are the white holds Massimo's on right now. And you can use other features on the wall, folks. Those black volumes, those black triangles, they're called volumes. You can use those anywhere. And also, he's hanging onto a corner right now in the wall. If you've got a shot around the corner there from the other side, you might be able to see him hanging on with his left hand on a bit of a corner. It's a corner, bit of a technical term in climbing. But so far, looking pretty comfortable right now. Only 1 or 2 moves from the top, so we shall see for him whether that top works out, and it does. Top out for Massimo. He'd be happy with that.
So we do have Angela. Angela with the choke bags.
You can see that Janelle just went out with her right and got herself a bit twisted up there in that sequence. So there you go. Thanks for sticking with us, folks. Andrea, we do have the Open B male underway. Hopefully you're still with us. Sorry, missed your question there a little while ago. Give us a shout out and a subscribe, folks, if you are online. Make sure you subscribe to the Sports Climbing Queensland channel and also subscribe to the Beta Boulevard Facebook page and the Sports Climbing Queensland Facebook page to get the latest updates tune in for the latest videos as well that we are streaming live for each of the competitions. You can find the calendar, the streaming or the climbing calendar for the competitions for the year on each of the web pages. So keep an eye out on that. But we've got on the wall right now, we have got Angela Stark in the Masters females. But stick around, folks. Tomorrow we've got the Open A and the social competition, the Open A male, Open A female tomorrow. And today we have the Open B, the Masters and the Para categories today. You're watching one of the Masters today, which is Angela Stark on her second climb of the day, her second qualifier. Over on the men's, we have got Daniel Cox on his qualifier right now. Daniel did make a top on the previous one, so I'm sure he would like to change that on this one. A little bit different style of climbing in comparison to the roof that Angela is actually climbing now. The Open B males were using that one as a qualifier as well. Angela making her way solidly into this position. And as we do know, folks, it starts to get a little bit on the work side right now, climbing up into this roof. It's time to get the business on. Yeah, and she's just going to pop that off there. That roof part was a little bit more pumpy. But now we've got Daniel over here. And just trying to make his way on these small holes, and you can see him reaching around the corner there, folks. He's certainly on some tiny holes, but also around the corner that arete does seem to help. Got to be careful not to stand on or use those. There you can see that green piece of the climb. There's some holes around the corner, and also that corner is quite useful when it comes to some holding opposition. Let's do this, Daniel. Sure, he's finding a little bit of a pump now. Needs to be accurate with the feet here. You can see him puffing a little bit, just trying to get his oxygen into his arms and his body. Trying to find the right sequence of feet for him to make this work, and he's off. Daniel certainly hung on for as long as he could on this one, making it work, but wasn't to be. You can see him get the wobbles just there before he popped off, reaching his maximum. Bit of a shout out to you guys online. Thanks for joining us. Fabulous to have you here. Do us a favour. Give the link a bit of a share out in your socials. Let people know that we've got the live stream going on. Sports Climbing Queensland committed to live streaming the events this year, which has been fantastic. And it's been awesome to be able to be part of that. Great community of climbers around the state. And these competitions are certainly awesome for the up-and-coming competition climbers. We do have the Olympics to think about now as climbers. We're in the Olympics, folks, which is awesome, and certainly bringing a little bit more limelight and focus to those who might want to come along and participate in the climbing world. Certainly the indoor climbing world picking up significant popularity of late. And we've got Helen Stubbs, one of the Masters females, on right now, and over on the males B, we have Travis Anderson. Travis making pretty nice progress, actually. We'll get around to him in a moment. There we go. Bit more of a taller climber, and you know, often folks, when you have the route setters, we'll chat to them a bit later on. We'll get them for the finals. We'll get them to come and have a chat to us about how they set all this up today. There's a lot of climbers. There's a lot of different sized and shaped climbers. You know, shorter, taller, stronger, endurance, whatever it might be, and the route setters, they've got a fairly hefty job ahead of them to try and make the routes applicable for everyone in the competition for the day, which is always a bit tricky. But they do a great job every single time. Travis Anderson right here. Travis got a top on the previous one, and I'm sure he would like to make it 2 tops. Looking pretty good so far. A little bit different doing this manoeuvre right here. This clip needs to be sorted. Yes, the old back step. One more move to the top, folks, and Travis happy with that, I'm sure. Well done, Travis. Top for Travis. So that's 2 tops for Travis, folks. So we've got Travis with 2, Dylan with 2, Wing Chong with 2, and Chad Horton with 2. I would say that would be boding well post any appeals, folks. They would be moving into the finals round. Who we've got on the wall right now. One of the open, that would be the Masters females. I think that's Helen Stubbs. Confirm that when we see the number. And out next we've got Sam Gillip on the Open B male. Our last Open B climber. We've got Melinda Waldick, actually. Melinda Waldick on the wall. Melinda. Masters female.
That's a big cheer when Sam hits that wall.
Melinda doing well so far. We all know it starts in that roof, folks, so stick with us. We've got Sam Killip right now. Didn't get a top on the earlier one. So let's see what Sam's got in the bag, in the tank for this one. A little bit stiffer, a little bit smaller holds, a bit more technical on the men's qualifier. Number 2 today, number 2, they've both climbed 2 qualifying climbs. Not to be for Melinda. Sam just taking it easy, making We do apologise at home, folks, if there is a little bit of laggingness with our live stream. Every now and then, YouTube is popping up and saying that there's some challenges with the internet. Unfortunately, out of our control. But hopefully, it's okay. Let us know in the chat if that's... Oh, Sam's off. Not to be for Sam. And I would say that that would be Sam's competition over. Sam not making a top on either of the climbs today, so I would say that wouldn't be enough to get him into the finals. We now have our Masters males, folks, and a couple more Masters females. I think we've got one or two ready to go. It looks like we've got Emily Ames coming out now. She did make a top in the previous one, folks. So Emily looking good. We haven't had two tops yet from the Masters females. Janelle Briggs got reasonably close. Let's see what Emily's got in store for us today. The second qualifier that she has had to climb, and there will be one final route later on, folks. Only one. Two qualifying climbs, one final route for the day for these competitors. Three climbs in all for the day. They do have to spend a fair bit of time actually in isolation out the back, in between their turns at climbing. Sometimes that can get a bit sort of long. So, you know, they've got to entertain themselves out there in the isolation area with a few warm-up routines, headphones, dancing, you name it. There's lots of stuff going on out there as well, as all the competitors out there a bit of a chat and talk to each other while they're waiting their turn. But we do have Emily making excellent progress up the wall. We've also got on right now our last Open B male competitor, which is Joshua DeMarco. See how Joshua goes. Joshua made a top in the previous one. So let's see how he goes on this one. Emily looking quite comfortable at the moment. Out on the lip, the bigger hold on the turn, so she certainly Emily making a top on that one. So Emily, the first of our Masters females to make a top, or two tops. We've got our last Open B male qualifier climber on the qualifying climb, Joshua DeMarco. See how he goes with that one.
There's only two more ladies to go.
Looking pretty good. Not too far from the top, folks. Only a few more moves, Josh, and keep it together. Let's see if he can make that work. Joshua had a top on the previous boulder, or the previous climb. Josh now getting two tops as well. So well done, Josh. Shout out to him. So we have, folks, we have Travis Anderson with two tops, Joshua DeMarco with two tops. We've got Dylan Burney with two tops, Wing Chung Lung with two tops, and we have Chad Horton with two tops for the Open B male. That's done and dusted right there. You would expect that they would be the finalists at some point, plus one or two others. I believe there's 8 in the finals, folks. So stand by, we'll let you know. Back in a moment. All right, back at it, folks. One of our almost final climbers of this round when it comes to the male, or the Masters female. We've got the male Masters starting now. Female Masters, Tina Colbier out now. Tina got a top in the previous one, and our first Master out on the wall. Male Master, Gregory Hall. Let's see how Gregory goes.
Dina and Duncan are partners. Those two climbing right now.
There you go. That's quite cute, isn't it, folks? I just got the heads up that these two are partners as well. Partners in climbing, partners in life, by the look of it. That's kind of cool. Maybe they... It is great to see them climbing at the same time also. That's it's kind of fun. Well, shout out to those guys. But Tina's looking quite good in this roof section here. Searching for that knee bar and making it work. Coming around the lip. Only one or two moves to go for Tina, and I think she'll be quite near the top. So let's see if she can make this work. Bit of a pumpy clip to come up here for her. So she's got to make that work. Duncan. Gregory making it work as well. So they're both getting closer to the top. Tina, yes. She'd made a top on the previous one as well. And one more clip to go. Tina, well done. And Tina now, 2 tops for her. She's pretty happy with that. That's cute. Bit of a look over at her partner. Go, Gregory. There we go. Maybe he was even laying down the challenge, Gregory. Tina made a top. What about you? And he's only 1 or 2 moves away from the top now, folks. So that is good news. So just getting himself in a balanced position for 1 move or so. Just got to be careful he doesn't hit that thing too much. And yes, well done. Anything you can do, I can do the same, says Gregory. Top for him. Well done. Well done for both of you. And we've got Peggy, our last female master, out. Peggy KO. Hang around, folks. Around about 2:30, 3 o'clock, we will have the finals. We will stop the stream and restart the stream. So we will do a separate stream. So hopefully you guys will let everyone know. Come on back for the finals. Probably be about a couple of hours worth of awesome finals. Nails biting climbing. But before we get there, we've got one more competitor here today on the qualifiers. On Saturday's round, which is the males, Masters female, which is Peggy KO. For that, we'll just go to a quick video. Big shout out to our sponsors there, Pinnacle Sports. Want to do some outdoor climbing? Well, that's what they do. Check them out, folks, online, Pinnacle Sports. Been around since 2003. Great to have awesome sponsors. But you're watching now our last Masters female, Peggy KO. Peggy made a top in the previous one, so let's see what she's got here. We know that the juice of this climb starts a little bit higher, so Peggy comfortably through the bottom section of this climb. Over on the Masters male, we've got Scott Duncan making his way up. little bit of a shout out for you there, folks. We do have coming your way from Sports Climbing Queensland a 10 times multi-pass. And Scott Duncan has been key in developing that. So keep an eye out for that. That will be out and about in the next week or two. 10-time multi-pass across the participating climbing gyms across Queensland. Might grab myself one or two of those myself, but that would be fantastic. Who we got now? Right now is Peggy. Peggy just getting herself ready, having a bit of a look over her shoulder there for what's about to come in this stiffer, pumpier section through the roof. And Duncan up there making good progress, finding himself in these last few moves. This is where the sort of the crux sequence would be up high on this one. Get one of those clips in. And smartly, I think, clipping from a bit lower. Duncan's a bit taller. Making that work. This is where a bit of a foot sequence from some of the climbers was required. Duncan doing a bit of a toe hook around the corner. Oh, no, he almost rescued it. That was close. Well, there you go, folks. Duncan not to beat, but keep an eye out for the pass. The 10-time multi-pass coming your way. Duncan off the wall, but we've got Peggy still up there. Looking very comfortable, actually, moving through this section. One more reasonably big move to go up into... Come on, Peggy. Nice, nice. Getting a little bit pumpy right now. Trying to make this section work for her. Get herself a little bit set up for that one up there. Oh, nice. Big. Oh! That was exciting. Well, folks, I thought she was gonna stick that, but you saw it, just a quick pop of the hand there, and down she went. Very, very, very quick when it's done. And that's it for Peggy. No top for Peggy. She did top the previous one. Big and hand slip. Boom. Yeah, well, there you go. Good job of the team there, catching a bit of replay action. A little bit of fun. A little bit exciting, those falls, folks. You can see at the bottom there is a belayer holding the climber and making sure that they don't hit the ground. That's part of the safety protocols and procedures. You can see there, their belayer climber right there watching, making sure. Usually the first clip is where something untoward could happen, but we're away now. First clip off the ground, done and dusted. And we are watching one of our male masters climb right now. Gregory Hall. Gregory got a top. Gregory got a top on his previous climb. And putting him in good stead for moving in through to the finals, I'm sure. Let's see how Gregory goes on this one. A few moves off the ground now. It starts to get a little bit crimpy. You can see his fingers bearing down on that hold, like very, very crimpy right there now. And you can see how small that hold is, folks. Just on the ends of his fingertips, just on the pads of his fingers. And, you know, that is a great shot there by the team, just to show you how precarious the position is, only just by a small amount of skin. And at his feet, if you check out his feet right now, how small that hold is that he's standing on right now. It is tiny. You have a look at how small those holds are. Not even the size of a 50-cent coin. Maybe a little bit bigger than that, but it's not a lot to stand on. And so you're really only connected to the wall with maybe 1 or 2 centimetres of skin on each hand and 1 or 2 centimetres of rubber on each feet, so you can see how precarious those positions are there for one of our final master climbers out today, Gregory Hall. We've got one or two left before we move on and have a bit of a break, folks. We will be having the finals later on, so don't go away. They will be out and about a bit later on, but make sure you hang around for that one. But we've got our master here, which is Gregory. And looks like he might be getting a little bit of a pump right now, which is understandable. These holds are small. And just, he's like, oh, what do I do now? Looking down at the ground, looking for some inspiration. But, yeah. And you can see the grimace on his face. He's not quite sure what he needs to do next. We shall see if he makes this move a little bit precarious on the feet and the hands. Oh, and not to be for Gregory today. So no top for Gregory on that one. We've got a couple of our master climbers yet to come, another 2 or 3, and then we'll be into the finals a bit later on. Back in a moment, folks. All right, here we are. We've got one of our Masters climbers here, Tui. Tui topped out on the first qualifying climb. Moving pretty quickly. Is a bit more of a dynamic, fast-moving climber, Tui. So we'll see how quick he moves on this one. Not a bad idea to keep yourself moving along. Sometimes you can spend a lot of time on a hold and it doesn't help. Get you pumped pretty quickly. So Tui making very short progress of the first section of this Masters Male qualifier. Getting up into that heel hook, finding something a little bit more solid. Making sure that you can make that next clip. High foot. Just trying to make sure he gets in position because it's very balancy, folks. He's a lot of hands and feet, making the cross through look quite solid and professional. So we can see here just as he goes up into those ones. Into this section here, only 1 or 2 moves to go, folks, and we've seen most of the climbers, when they've sort of gotten past this section, make a top. Let's see if Tui can do the same. Only 1 more clip and 1 or 2 more holds to go. Oh, no! He was looking very solid there with just 1 foot slip. I'm sure he'll be disappointed with that. That was just one little slip and down you came. But good job. He got a top in the previous one, and watch his foot pop here. Boom. Just not enough friction and not enough capacity to keep himself on the wall. That can be over in a moment, folks, so that's where you got to keep that pressure on the feet. Hang around for a bit later on. We're almost at the finish of our qualifiers today. And we'll have our finals a bit later on at around about 2:30. Back in a moment. All right, we only got one more climber to go. I think one or two more climbers to go in the Masters Male, folks. So stick around. We've got Peter Waldick and Paul Finch are the two last climbers to come out. Right now we've got Peter on the wall. Didn't make the top on the previous climb, but I'm sure he would like to make one on this one. We shall see how we go. Different style. This might suit Peter. Certain styles suit certain climbers. Smaller holds, maybe. Might be his forte, his specialty. We shall see. Early days yet, folks. Just left the ground, so let's see how he goes. Looking to use those very small pieces of holds on the wall, but you know, you can use pretty well anything that is designated on your coloured climb, folks. The white climb, the white hand holds and foot holds are for this climb. You can't use anything else on the wall or any other holds on the wall, just so you guys know. Sure, those sitting at home might have been interested in what and how this works. Each of the holds on the wall are designated with a point. As you climb up the wall, you get points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as you go. That's how you score the climbing. Also, how fast you do the climb is recorded also, just in case there's a tie. If you are on hold number 20 and you go for hold number 21, that's called a plus. If you don't make it to hold number 21, that's called a plus. Pretty straightforward. You climb from the bottom to the top, it's pretty easy. And we'll see if Peter can make it to the top on this one. Slowly but surely, you can see him grimacing down on his face right now, trying to make the next move work out in his mind. His body and his feet have got to just be in the right position. Oh, not to be for Peter. So no tops for either of his two qualifiers. And one more climber right now to come out, Paul Finch, for the qualifiers, folks. And again, just getting a little bit tired there at the end and just trying to find the right point to get himself balanced up, but didn't really find the sweet spot there for Peter Waldick. Last but not least, Paul Finch. Paul did have a top in the previous qualifier also, so we shall see if he can continue that streak and get into the finals right after this, folks. All right, our final master climber here, Paul Finch, made a top on the previous one. Let's see if he can do it on this one. Here we go, folks. Thanks for joining us on the live stream, folks. Let us know in the chat if there's anything you want to know. Yes, Archie. Rock Sport is absolutely having a pump fest next weekend. So it's a social comp. Come one, come all. Check it out online, folks. If you haven't already, go find the Rock Sports team and their webpage. Archie, if you're there, maybe you could do that for us. Maybe put a link in the chat for us if that's easy. But hey, don't feel like you need to, mate. Sounds like you might know what's going on. But yeah, folks, if you want to do that, Rock Sports in the Valley, Pump Fest next weekend. Sign up. Have a bit of fun, but in the meantime, we're watching one of our masters, Paul Finch, Masters Male. See if he can make a top on this qualifier. He's already topped one, the previous one. Let's see if he can top this one. Our final climber on the wall for the qualifiers this morning. This afternoon now, we have had no tops on the second qualifier for the male masters. We've had a number of tops for the Open B male. And around this section here, plenty of little small sequency feet to be standing on right now, and that's where Paul's trying to make the most of what he's got. Just making sure he's got all the right sequences in place and just having a bit of a look. So sometimes you can get a bit laser focused, folks. Forget about the holds that are right near you, and the feet or the handholds, what you might need to use. Choosing another different way here to get to this next hold up high, which may seem to have worked reasonably well for him. Needs to now move his body up into the next part of this climb as well. So let's see how he goes here. Looking a little bit lost by the look of things, but we've seen a few climbers use this sequence that cross through, which quite successfully. So yeah, that's looking good. Oh. It was over in an instant, folks. No top for Paul either. So there you go, folks. We shall see in a moment. That's it for the qualifiers, ladies and gents. We have had all of our climbers have 2 climbs at this point in time. We will have some time for the competitors to do any appeals. We will have the qualifiers measured and scored, and then we will see who is in the finals, folks. The finals will start around 2:30 to 3 o'clock. Probably we'll get on time right now, I would expect. We started a little bit late, but the final should start on time. We've got the machine rolling, so be back at about 2:15, and we will be up and in ready. We will start a whole new stream for the finals, folks, so keep an eye out for that. Jason Witten here with you, coming to you live from Boulder Boulevard here in Brisbane for the 2022 Open Lead Finals, or Open Lead Queensland State Titles, and later on we'll have the finals. Stick around, folks. I'll let you know what's going on in a minute after this quick message. All right, folks, we will be, stick around for another minute or two. We're going to get the live scoring up for you to tell you who is in the finals, if you want to know. But other than that, folks, we will be back live at 2:30 for the finals. So make sure you come back for that one. Hang around for a moment or two. We will be letting you know who made it into the finals in just a moment. Don't go away. There you go, folks. You heard it just a moment ago. We now have some appeals. We'll get the live score up in a minute for you. But you can see on the screen right now, we'll be back at 2:30 for the finals. 8 competitors each. Make sure you join us right then. Won't be long.